Have you ever needed a break from fun?
From the
I need a
fun.
boost,
Yeah.
man. I've got a lot of energy for an old man, but fuck, man. All right, so let's get into the real shit. You know, things have been going pretty good already with the removal of illegals that have committed crime. All I'm saying is that can't be prevented. You're gonna have mistakes like that. It's just a part of it. There's no other way to do it. I really resent when people want to portray that where we're at today is like it was in the 60s, because it's not. Or that it's worse, or that we want to go back there. I get that they come here for a better life. Well, of course. Where else you gonna go than the United States? The United States is the best place to fucking go. It's the best place in the world. I mean, we have the coolest problems right now. Some people might think it's scary. These are really cool things that we have to solve that are gonna just transform life.
In your opinion, do you think we're close to or anywhere near an oligarchy?
And this is my take. And look, I'm biased. Okay, I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
I'm biased. I think they still keep lying about January 6th. He thinks that what happened on January 6th was so much worse than all the other riots. I don't know how that's possible. Biden just pardoned people who haven't been charged with anything? Nothing. You're not charged with anything, but you get a pardon. Because if you find out later that they did do something, it's okay. They've already been pardoned for it. Doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come
Just a motherfucking jump. Just go. Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and the other fucking guy is Leo.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Leo?
Doing pretty well early this morning. How are you doing today, man?
Yeah, I know. Another morning, but hey, it works out. We get it done. We figure it out.
I like those in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, kind of
Do you?
Yeah, it, starts the day off, get something checked off.
Yeah, and
off,
it's
off
kind
the
of
day.
good right before the weekend.
Exactly.
Too, kind of a little bit of a wrap up too, and things have been going on. And geez, dude, I think I've maybe slightly mentioned. I mentioned all the shit we've been doing, Dawn and I, in places
yes.
we've become. Have you ever needed a break from fun? Have you ever needed a fun break? And I don't mean.
I can't say I've ever had that issue,
dude. We're having too much fun, man. Like
yeah.
I'm serious. It's like
that's a great problem to have. I'll tell you what.
It's not as easy as you think when we're this old. So last night we went to Justin Timberlake.
Ooh, yes, I've been waiting to hear about this.
It's kind of like Troy Neff at Justin Timberlake, because I'm a country guy.
Okay.
And I'm not a Justin Timberlake guy, like I was big into pop music. I used to break dance and do all that stuff. And really, who else is there in pop music right now, men or women? There's just not a lot of pop artists. What we considered
I was about to
pop,
say, yeah, the genre has changed over the years. So
there's a blend of everything. I mean, it's you got rappers, with Morgan Wallen and like all this crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's because of what they grew up with,
yeah.
and this new sounds they're making. And I totally get that. And I'm not one of those old fuddy-duddies to be like, I only like Conway Twitty.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
no, I like all this stuff. I knew he would put on a good show. I knew it would be a show.
Yeah. I mean,
not just stand up there.
Yeah.
He's a performer. And at his age now, like, wow. Because we forget that this dude, was in a boy band. Some people do, like, that's the original shit. And then a lot of times when people leave their original bands, they don't have as much success.
Yeah.
But
most of the
time, that's the case. His success has been even greater, and then into acting and everything else he does. And I mean, he just does. He's just a talent.
Yeah.
and the dancing and stuff he's doing at 43. 43
impressive.
years old.
It's
Well, he's going to
impressive.
be 44 next week.
Yeah, I
Okay.
honestly didn't realize
He's
he
going to
was
be
that
44.
old.
That's only 12 years younger than me.
But-
Only 12 years.
Yeah,
It
but-
did not seem like we were that close together. You know what I mean?
I get what you're
I feel-
saying, because like growing up, like watching him like perform and stuff like that, I don't know. He always gave off like very like younger vibes, I guess is the best way I
Yeah,
can
he still
explain it.
does. He's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
trying to do that. Like, you know, his music hasn't really evolved into
Like a different
like
sound or like
Well,
something else.
different topics
Gotcha.
of, like, say, relationships as you get older.
Yeah.
Is that his stuff's
He's
still
in the
about
same, yeah.
still about chasing and fucking chicks. Okay, kinda. And you don't really. I knew, but I guess until you hear all of his music back to back to back.
Yeah.
You know,
You realize that the topics behind the
how much
songs.
sexualized it is, like a lot. Because what I hear from him is really the influences. The two big influences that I hear are Prince
Okay.
and Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, those are the two big influences. And, you know, Prince had some super crazy sexual shit. And, you know, I love that stuff, man. and Michael Jackson's the king of pop and always will be. And so, yeah, it's kind of that mix
Like
there.
a flavor of like the two.
But
like, combined.
definitely high energy. His dancers, you know, the band members, everything,
Like
and just
everyone, yeah.
the whole thing. And I will say this: the Footprint Center where we saw him, which is basically where the Phoenix Suns play,
Okay.
and the Phoenix Mercury, that stadium arena, what a great place. And I've been there for a concert, but like, what a great place for a concert. I mean, our seats couldn't have been
Any better?
better, and there's really not bad seats. Like, even if you're in the so-called bad seats in that arena,
Because of the
it's
way
not
they have
because
it,
of the
like,
way it's
elevation
stacked
stuff like
up
that,
and
yeah.
stuff. You're still getting to be into it and part of the show. And I would say probably only a couple hundred empty seats at the very top around sporadically, and then you had a full floor mostly too.
Yeah.
So there probably had to be 18,500, 19,000.
I wouldn't be surprised. I like
It
'cause
was very, very good. It was a very
Justin
good show.
Timberlake was a big part of I don't know, of my childhood at least. He was around a lot. He was collaborating a lot when I was growing up as a kid. So like,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised to have a lot of like people going out and supporting Justin Timberlake, because I honestly didn't even know
Was
he was
he
still
the one
performing.
with Janet Jackson when she had the wardrobe malfunction?
I believe so, actually.
Was that the Super Bowl? Just put wardrobe malfunction. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a while ago, man. That was a while ago.
04? Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
20 years ago.
I do not remember it being that long ago.
Nipplegate. That's so funny. They put the
Huh.
Yeah. That's really, but
that-
yeah, so we had a great time. And I don't want to, I like to put positive shit out, right? I always like positive vibes and
Yep.
everything like that.
Yep.
I'm still amazed, and I'm grateful, and I don't want it to change. We have the best place to park there.
Yeah.
And people can figure it out for themselves,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to put it out there so that becomes because literally it's like when we park at Footprint Center, it's like parking at my house.
Really? Okay. The luxury of having it right outside.
And it might be $40 somewhere else. And like last night, maybe it was 50 at our place. 100% worth it. And it wasn't even full. It wasn't even full. There is no, if you could pick, if you knew this was there, it's where everyone would pick, but there's not that many spaces
Gotcha.
for that.
So it doesn't seem like
But
it
it's
gets
crazy.
filled out.
I just think that when people get close to it, if they're not in that area on a regular basis or don't go to that many things,
Yeah, they wouldn't know.
they don't
at all.
really know that that's an option, and they park before they get there. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
And then they didn't even have the other side open this time, but they had one side. I'm like, we're there. And we even asked them, because that's the thing. I just told you, we're having too much fun. Like, I need
A little break from the fun.
I need a boost,
Yeah.
man. I've got a lot of energy for an old man, but fuck, man. So we're going back tonight. We're going back tonight. Tonight's Cat Williams. Tonight is Cat Williams.
Yes.
And I asked her, like, you gonna have this parking lot open tonight? He goes, yeah, we'll be here. I'm like, all right, save me a spot. I will be back.
Hell yeah. Is it the same location?
Same location.
Nice. Hell
And
yeah.
our seats are going to be very similar. And I know the setup of the stage, how the stage was last night, is going to be
Like
close
similar
to
to
that
that.
too for Cat. So I'm excited
That's gonna be
about
dope as
that.
fuck.
That
I'm
we
excited
are
to hear
going to
about it.
have. Yeah,
I'm super excited to hear about that. I really am.
he's just. I've liked him for quite a number of years now. And then, like, when he was on that when he just started
Sharp.
like speaking truth,
Yep.
yeah, on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he just started like calling people out, and you just knew he was being honest as fuck. It was like,
yeah.
ouch.
I mean, everyone was like trying to figure out whether what he was saying or not was like true or not, and then everyone
it was true.
It was true. Yes, it was.
And you probably don't want to challenge him on it, because it's going to be bad if you were one of the ones he talked to. You just want to let that drift away. You do
see how
not want
quickly
to
it can-
stir that up or get in the middle of that there, because he just killed you. Like,
Very true. No,
Yeah.
yeah. You just let him tell his
the
jokes.
dark
and
side
let
of
it go.
the dark side of the industry, though, too, and how people are, but interesting,
No, that-
definitely. But
I think
yeah,
we're heading towards a
So I
place where they
think-
can get fixed.
so I think like at least that I think will be the end for the month, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. It's gonna be the end for the month.
About 6 days left. Give yourself about a week
I
rest
don't
before you
know.
get back into it.
And then we'll start with February, and I'm looking at spring training tickets.
Hell yeah.
That's what
I
we're
love
looking for.
Spring training is such a it's a great time, especially the field that
There-
we have out here.
yes.
It's beautiful.
So good. So good. So some Cubs games, some Dodgers games, things I'm looking at, and we'll see how that
This
goes.
will be a little more relaxed. Not as
Yeah, but it's
energy
still the time and everything
Having
that
to
it
drive
takes
out
to
there
do
and all that
that.
extra
And it's
stuff,
great.
yeah.
I'm not complaining. I mean, who could complain? Like one of my Facebook friends posted about how phenomenal it is to start your day with a workout, and it is. I love starting my day with a workout. But yesterday, we got massages yesterday.
Hell yeah.
I've finally worked back into, because I've had a membership at Massage Envy. I have a
Gotcha.
monthly
Okay.
membership, and I've been doing the stretch lab, and I really haven't been going for the massages, and I've needed it. We're doing stretch lab twice a week for an hour each, and then we just went yesterday for an hour massage each, deep tissue, like I'm
Gotcha.
getting the kind of massage as I do the stretch, the kind that hurt. Like, this is not a foo-foo. I do not get foo-foo massages. And I just don't understand how other people how y'all are crawling through life. Because I need these
Oh,
to
the massages and the
survive.
stretches.
And
Yeah.
the stretches and stuff, man.
It's super important, honestly. Super, super important in my opinion.
Man, the pain the rest of y'all must be in, because I'm in pain,
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously do I do it? Number one, health is number two. I'm just going to be honest for me.
Okay.
Okay. What I do, health is number two. I want to be healthy. I want to live a long life. But if I'm honest, and I am, I want to look good. That's my number one.
I mean, that's
thing.
fair. Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
this.
that's fair.
I want to look fit. I want to fit good in my shit. Yeah.
And
That's
then
my
the health
number
is kind
one
of just
thing.
like a co-product of it. Like
Yeah, it's side
Yeah.
benefits.
No, I get that. I totally get that. Totally get that.
Just totally honest. So we're just like that's what I said in my response to his post was this is a pretty good way to start a day too.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. A
And
massage.
then there's a
Ooh,
massage.
hell yeah.
Then
Like
we
a nice little breakfast
then
in the
we
morning.
went to breakfast. We
Hell
went to
yeah.
Over Easy.
Yup.
I had protein pancakes,
Ooh.
blueberry
Okay.
with extra blueberries, and I use sugar-free syrup. And
Okay.
people don't realize how good sugar-free syrup is. Like, really, you're not losing anything. The sugar-free syrup, if you get good sugar-free syrup, it tastes just as good. I promise you, it really does. And 2 scrambled eggs on top of that.
Okay. Gotta have
So
that
that was
protein,
good.
the
Got
extra little bit of
extra
protein in there.
protein from that, you know. And then it was just the other part you have to realize is so I wake up and I immediately go to my phone and I work, answer
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Then we did
The stretch and the massage.
massage,
Mhm.
and then I worked at breakfast. I worked at breakfast. I work at the whole breakfast. So sometimes Dawn and I will talk a little bit, but most of the time she's doing her thing at breakfast and I'm doing mine. I'm catching up on work and the messages and making sure all the clients are taken care of or getting them set for that day. And then came home and worked, then went to work out. And when I work out, I'm sometimes working and working after. It's just back and forth between doing something and work.
Yeah. Like
And even into last night, dude.
even after the
Like I
concert.
actually answered somebody's question about terzepatide while I was at the concert. It was near the end of the concert. You know, they didn't know I was at.
Yeah.
They weren't on my Facebook. They didn't know I was at the concert, and I answered their question. It was okay. And then I had a new client who like just doesn't know. And sometimes people are nervous when they just don't know and they're just starting
They
out
don't know what to
on their
ask.
hormone therapy, you know, testosterone replacement therapy. They just don't know. So they're asking some question. And he goes, like, how many questions do I get to ask? I'm like, well, how about you ask them tomorrow? Because it's midnight.
Oh, he was texting you at
It's
midnight?
midnight. Here, I don't know. I don't even see, like, I'd have to look and tell you, see where he was.
Oh, so
You know, I
he's
don't
probably
know.
not from Arizona then. Okay.
But okay, but if he's around this area, it's midnight.
He
And
should-
if he's east, it's later than motherfucking midnight,
that would be like 3 o'clock in the morning.
2
wouldn't it?
o'clock,
Yeah. Christ.
right? You see what I'm saying?
Like what
I'm
do you
like,
do? What do you do asking? Like I get you're anxious and you're wanting to get
Yes.
this stuff done, but like what are you
Yes.
doing? Go to bed.
Go to bed. Like, ask me tomorrow, dude. Ask me tomorrow.
Have the text preloaded,
But
and then just
This is on the drive home.
Send
Yeah,
it.
what you know what I did?
Yeah.
I answered. Like work this morning before the show. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's just back and forth, just constantly boom, 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 back and forth, getting stuff done. And it's like I said, I'm blessed. It's a great life that I get to do all of this fun shit, but I want a fun break. That's so hilarious to
A
ask
fun
about.
break is crazy. I don't know. I love to get to the point where that's like a
Where you're
an
having
issue.
so much fun and you're like, stop. That's like saying you have too much money, right? There's no
Yeah.
such thing.
Exactly.
There's no such thing. You can't have too much fun. You can't have too much money. It's not a thing.
Exactly.
Well, maybe.
You can scratch the surface.
And apparently I am.
I love that. I love that.
So, yeah, I just wanted to share that a little bit. Like, what is cool about that, too, is I didn't have like specific expectations for that concert. So I think that sometimes helps too. And that it was just
Going and experiencing it,
and
then
just let it happen and just experiencing it, and it was just really, really good.
those are the best moments.
And we said, it was better than we thought it would be. But what did I really think it was going to be? I thought again that he was a showman, so I thought that would be a big part of it. But the whole experience as a whole, and he's been around so long. It's like shit. And I know a shit ton of these songs. You think you only know a couple. But I will say this, I did post it on my Facebook, and people, you should follow me on my Facebook too. Good, because if you ever want to contact me, that's a good way to contact me too, and everything is public. But yeah, my big head. But look at those great teeth. Look at those awesome teeth. That's so funny. You like that?
I like that.
Yeah, the liberals. That's where they're right the spot they're at.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at where we're parking. That's the entrance right there. Like literally where that
So
Duseki sign
you
is.
weren't
You
lying
go
when you
in
said
there.
it was your house. Like
It's like
right
parking
outside.
at your house, dude.
Huh.
Like parking at your house, for sure.
Oh, that's
And dude, we're 12 rows up from there,
That's a great
from
seat.
that direction. You know, at like that's
so like in this area, give or take.
phenomenal. And I could have. So anyways, my favorite song, I posted on there what my favorite song is. I put it in the comments. Is I love the Trolls song, the happy song, you know, Can't Stop the Feeling. It's my absolute favorite Justin Timberlake song. Because you can't listen to this song if you're upset, if you're having a bad day.
Okay.
You want to put this song on. You want to have this, even if it's just by itself. If you don't even have to put it in a playlist.
Yeah.
But whatever
have it
you
ready
use,
for, like,
Spotify, Apple, whatever, but have it there so it's easy to access and you don't have to look it up. Yeah, just hit that one. That one's good. With the and I just listen to the whole beat and everything, man. It's just, you cannot remain unhappy,
okay, I remember this
depressed,
one now.
mad, you know, and it's Trolls. How can you be like, I like the Trolls.
It's
too.
a
I've
good
seen
song.
it.
No,
It's
this
a
I remember
really
this
good
one being
songs.
played a lot on the radio. This was a really good song.
It's just upbeat. It's good. You know, I love his sexual shit too, but this isn't that. This is just about being happy.
Yeah,
Just about being happy. And who doesn't want to be happy? You want to be happy?
just
I
throw the song
recommend
on.
this.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh,
Just
100%.
listen to me.
I agree.
Smart thing.
I think the only song that I can think that probably be a little more enjoyable is Suit and Tie. That's just because it was like one of those songs that was just like played a lot. So
that Dawn posted and tagged me in it. But look at that. Remember I told you the last episode about the charcuterie tray?
Yes.
Look at that thing, dude.
That thing is stacked,
That's
by the way.
hummus, and just the meat was phenomenal, and the cheeses. Oh my God, dude, it was so good. That was the charcuterie tray. That was the good part about that restaurant at the Waldorf. Like, they had a good they didn't have good burgers. They didn't have good chicken tenders, but they had a really good
Forgot about the chicken
charcuterie tray.
tenders.
They did.
That's so fucking hilarious.
All right, so let's get into the real shit.
Let's do it.
We thank you for subscribing and passing on. I don't even know what number we're up to now.
70.
We're up to 70. No, not episode.
Oh, subscribers.
Well, how many subscribers we have now? We did break that 300 mark. We're shooting for 400 now. We need to drag some of you motherfuckers across. So if you can get one person. Wow, that show's already got 5 views. It's so funny.
We're at 311.
311?
311.
Some people told me that they were hitting the subscribe button. I don't think they have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like message
some
those people. I'm gonna have to have a
conversations.
conversation about that. So do that for me. Hit that subscribe button. Get somebody else to hit it. Let's get to 400.
Hell yeah.
God bless. Thanks. I'm the fucking guy. It's nonstop right now. Like, the attacks. It's not that I didn't expect it or know it was going to be like this. But Jesus, man, like, it's like nobody can give it a rest. And the stuff that didn't work multiple times over the last 9, 10 years, the stuff that didn't work about Trump and his supporters, they still continue with over and over and over again. And we were making jokes on the last episode, because I went like this, and I'm like, oh
Gotcha.
shit, I'm a secret Nazi. But the continuing, the belief, the hardcore belief that some people have, and it's just by their own speaking of what they're saying, that I'm talking, it's a hardcore belief. Trump hates gay people, hates black people. I'm like, oh my God. When is it like you live like that? You live like that, and it's affecting you in your life. You're letting it affect you. You can just tell by the way that people are express themselves.
Yeah.
Like, where does that get you? And it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. Nothing is going to happen perfectly. And so any little thing is going to be hammered and is. I'll give you a good example that apparently, things have been going pretty good already with the removal of illegals that have committed crimes, like 460. These are ones that committed crimes. And apparently there was a raid that was done on a business, and somehow a U.S. military vet got caught up in the initial interaction, okay? Look, he's not being deported. We are not deporting American citizens. Okay, that's not a thing.
The guy up in like Rhode Island or whatever it was.
Was it Rhode Island or was it Newark, New Jersey?
One of the two. He's like a lawyer for immigration, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Well, there was that too. That his offices were raided, but I'm talking about another business and a mayor like freaking all out because there was a U.S. military who was part of that. Like,
Gotcha.
Sometimes shit's gonna happen and shit will get fixed. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes there you go, New Jersey, right at the top there. That one, yeah.
Hey, morning.
Yeah, just go ahead and play it. Let's see.
We're outside the Ocean Seafood Depot in Newark, where it was targeted by ICE raids. We can tell you that 3 people were detained here, and now the owner of this business says those are family men working hard to provide a living, and now they don't know what's next or where to go from here. We're told that those ICE agents came in asking for papers and then took away 3 of those people. In these pictures, you can see, obtained by Pix11, Homeland Security badges on the uniformed officers walking into the seafood depot. We're told by the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice those 3 people were hauled off for unknown reasons. ICE confirming they did a, quote, targeted enforcement operation, but Newark Mayor Raz Braca saying the feds are unlawfully terrorizing people in a statement saying detaining undocumented residents as well as citizens without producing a warrant. One of the detainees is a U.S. military veteran, had his military documentation questioned. President Donald Trump signing an executive order upon taking office to round up and return asylum seekers home, giving the okay to send ICE.
The dude wasn't put in jail. You know what I mean? Like it just, that's, you can't, but all I'm saying is that can't be prevented. You're going to have mistakes like that. And you can't not arrest the criminals because you might accidentally catch someone else up in something and have to fix it. It's just a part of it. There's no other way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a weird.
It's unfortunate. It sucks. But it happens.
Yeah, it just kind of goes back because I personally have been seeing a lot of like this where it's just Like it goes back to like enabling certain like action stuff like that. Like I get it. Like there's certain things that have to get done, but there's also like lines that shouldn't have to get
Absolutely.
crossed
And
and
we
stuff
have
like
to,
that.
but then we deal with those.
Yeah,
There's no
but
other way. Tell me how you do it then. How do you do it?
I
Otherwise, you don't do it at all.
no, yeah, yeah,
You see
no.
what I'm saying?
It's a very complex question. That itself is very because like they're doing like raids at schools or doing raids like
No,
they're focusing on like students and like
no. That
like
hasn't been. That's just the narrative that's out that's going to
well,
happen
but yeah,
or be
as
done.
of right now, like we don't
Yeah,
know. We'll see in
right.
like in a week or so.
Exactly.
But
Exactly. And the main target has been what they said it was going to be, which were ones done that have criminal backgrounds or were charged, maybe convicted, whatever it is. But if you're here illegally and you're caught up in that group, even though you don't have a conviction, you're going too. But that's not the target. That's not the main force looking for those that are just here illegally. They showed on one program I was watching, I think it was CNN, where they portrayed this Venezuelan woman who came here a year ago, and she's supposedly here to make some money and then take that money back home to her daughter and mother. Her mother's watching her kid or whatever in Venezuela. Well, I don't know how you just leave your kid like that, but you don't just get to come into this country because your country sucks and make money and leave. It just doesn't work like that. It doesn't. We have borders. What?
yeah, but
But what?
I don't know, man. I don't know if this is just the way I grew up, but like the amount of effort and work that you have to put in Mexico and the return that you get is much
Yes,
much
it is.
lower.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Dude,
I
it's
don't think that's good for just society in general. I mean, wasn't that the whole like premise behind like the whole United States, right? Is like you invite people to like kind of like
okay,
work and like be
but if you
better and
look,
like
but look that up. There were times where we allowed people in, and times where legally allowed people in,
yeah,
and then times where we curbed how many were coming here legally to give all that time to assimilate.
hmm
Or, we allowed people to come here legally to work, to build the railroad,
yeah,
things like that. And over time, but it wasn't just, we never just had open borders,
yeah.
like where
No, yeah,
you
for
just
sure.
come.
No, for sure.
And then this is a different age, over 1,000, way more under the Biden administration. Like these are just ones that they captured that we know of.
Yeah.
So then you have the ones you don't capture, right? But it was over like 1,000 people were captured that were on the terrorist watch list. After 9/11, that's a big deal. It has been, I know that, younger people, 9/11, my daughter was born in 94. You
hmm
know what I mean? So she was so small, it
It's
it's
not
not
like
the same,
yeah,
it's not the same impact. There is some impact because she saw how I felt about it. She saw how I reacted even after that, several years later,
yeah.
when we went to New York and we saw, this is like 4 or 5 years after 9/11. Okay. We're
hmm
in New York. And you know what I saw?
What was that?
Fucking hole, dude. A hole with fencing around it, with, they would block it up. But if you got up high enough, you could see down into it. And the workers around it it was very solemn. And when we were trying to look, they said, hey, if you go over here and go up here, you can see this and stuff. And I went up there and I had tears, and my daughter saw that because it's like that. It just pissed me off that we hadn't done anything about that hole yet. and that other people, because there's buildings surrounding that area,
Yeah.
right? They were part of that. Many of them worked there when that all happened, and now they're back to work, and they have to see that fucking hole every day, you know? And there was something about rebuilding that was really important and should have been done sooner, you know, just faster, sooner. What, like, I wanted it bigger and higher. It was to be, it's this, man.
yeah.
It's fuck you. Like, it just, that's just how we felt. It's, I'm compassionate enough that like again, we talked about, you got to fix things in steps. We have to fix the problem first and stop the illegal flow, control our borders. And it's also about controlling the flow of drugs and fentanyl specifically, which is killing so many people every year. And maybe you want to blame the addicts. I don't know. But something has to be done. And I want there to be an improvement in the system for people to come here legally. And I think most people that most people are, there may be a small group, I'm sure there is, that are hardcore, that just don't want other people coming here, okay? Legally or illegally, they don't want people coming here. But I think that's such a small number. We need to not pay attention to the fringes on either side anyways, that most of us want to give people an opportunity to do it the right way, and that way needs to be more streamlined. It needs to be, you know, more available. You know, I don't know what the number is we allow legally. You know, I think we need to make it easier to also that you get vetted. You know, you get vetted, and it used to be like this when I was a kid, that people would come to work and would go home. You know, they'd come to work for 6 to 9 months. And then they would go back to Mexico, you know, making that easier, you know, because I understand but it also pisses me off when I hear these Democrats, and I was going to share that with you because I've shared that with you before. I wish I would have written down the name so we could have video of that, but it was just, maybe it was that stupid fucking whatever she calls herself, that priest or whatever the fuck
Pope.
she wasn't a pope. Like, I don't know what the
Whatever
fuck she was,
was,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck she was. But the way she talked, it was her. The way she talked about immigrants, you know what you're good for? Cleaning bathrooms.
Thanks.
Yeah. Dude, it was all menial shit. You know what I mean? It was all menial labor shit. Like this is like, oh my God, you're not gonna, you know. We do know that there are people that do hard work that other people don't want to do. Absolutely. But to portray those people like that's all they're capable of, to me, is the most racist fucking shit in the world. That's true racism, is to pigeonhole people like that, to say that's all they're good for or capable of, and that makes you know, me upset.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't feel that way at all. Not at all. I just know that it's not going to be, none of this is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And you have a great heart, and I appreciate that about you. But there are going to be instances like this where mistakes are made, and, you know, just like I think it was a mistake. I pointed out in the last episode. I think it's a mistake that we're delaying the Afghans
The flights.
that helped us during the war and were promised to be able to come here, that their flights were canceled and we're delaying them coming here.
Yeah.
I think that sucks. That was part of every. But I'm looking at the big picture too, and what
I
needs
get
to be
that.
done. And as long as that's fixed, I'm sorry about the delay, but as long as it gets fixed, then I'm cool with the outcome. I'm sorry about it, but it's just part of like some things just needed to be done, and you had to put it out there, and then you have to take action, and then go figure out what's working, what's not working. And that's what I think they're going to do. This is not going to be one of those cases where we just keep doing shit that's not working. That's not what this is about anymore.
I don't think it's necessarily about whether it's going to work or not. I think the deportation is going to happen. I mean, the borders are lined up. People are deporting themselves. Like, I mean,
I told you that was going to happen. Remember,
it's happening for sure. I think the side products that's going to create are going to create a lot more social problems than solve. Like, I get the whole
Like what?
again, it goes back to like back when like Trump I don't even know if Trump was in office, but back when Arpaio was in office, like it's just like it's a different sense of like living, or at least again, it kind of just depends on how much you really care about the people that are here from different countries and stuff like that. But like as like a kid from immigrant
Right, sure.
parents, like it's just like your way of living kind of changes, the way you kind of have to interact with people, the way you kind of have to be a lot more cautious about certain things. Like I get the big picture. I totally get the big picture. I just feel like those mistakes that we want to call them like are gonna happen a lot more frequent, and they're gonna be a lot more kind of like dismissible.
Here's
Than not.
Well, here's the thing. I would make a distinction between mistakes like this versus what you bring up, and I think is 100% valid, about there being racist people that think they can like be more openly racist.
Yeah, and it's already
You know what I
happened.
mean?
Like I've already experienced it, like within like weirdly enough, but yeah, and it's I
But
get that it's like a small number or whatever, but like
but that's on me. Okay, that's on the rest of us. That when we see that
I just
we
don't.
we also stick up and like
Yeah, I get that.
That's not cool. You don't get to do that, man.
I just don't
we have to.
believe that will happen, especially right now with
Well, just have this faith
Mhm.
that I'm not the only one.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean?
That's for
I'm
sure.
not the only one.
I'm for
That
sure.
I'm absolutely will be one of those ones, because I don't. That's like, that's. I'm all about bullying the bullies.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That I know.
So I'm all about bullying the bullies. I see that kind of shit. I am not going for that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I just don't believe
Anywhere.
a majority of people follow the same views you do. Is the only thing that is like, again, like like there's us very small compared to the entirety of like the country and stuff like that. Like it's just like from what I've again, and I could be wrong.
No, I think that, that because you are more likely to experience it, it's going to seem greater to you,
Yeah.
the number, than what that number will seem to me.
Yeah.
Because that, and I don't know, how that's really resolved, but I don't think. I don't know what the percentage of people that are racist are. I just don't. I honestly,
mean, it's probably more than less.
I don't know, but I know of the history of me being alive for 56 years and how things have changed over that 56 years, that I really resent when people want to portray that where we're at today is like it was in the 60s because it's not. It's
No.
not even. It's
No, no,
not
no.
even close.
No.
But there are people that do that. They portray like, or that it's worse, or that we want to go back there. That somehow
Yeah,
people like we
no.
want.
I don't think
It's
that's
not that
to
at
that
all.
extent. No.
It's not that at all.
No. I think
100%.
but I do think it is like again, I don't know if this is again more of like a personal experience and stuff like that, but it enables people, although maybe not to act maybe racist or whatever, but they feel more
No, that is racist. The stuff you're describing is, let's just call it what it is.
yeah,
It's
we
racist.
can call it racism, but it's just like subtle racism, right? It's not hard. It's not that hardcore racism that we talk about, like when you grew up and stuff like that. It's more of like subtle racism where it's like again, like for me, it's whatever. I go about my day and stuff like that. But
Right.
I know there's a lot of people out there that really struggle with stuff like that. But like it's just like the small little things that kind of like become more irritating than
No,
like damaging
100%.
and stuff like that. But the thing that concerns me the most is when that subtle racism is, or again, I'm not even sure if it would be categorized under racism, but like when you have like for instance different police departments, or you even have
Mhm.
like people going around, like it might change the culture within. I guess it is considered racism, but you have people because they're saying that if you turn in immigrants, and they don't even have to be like illegal immigrants or something like that, they're gonna be like, and this is like again, I know it's like a half joke kind of thing or whatever, but like
Nobody
there's
illegals getting deported.
well that's the thing
I
that
know,
you
but
have like
that's
no, I
not
get
a
that.
thing.
I get that, but there's like I don't know if this is just a set of
Somebody legal could be temporarily detained
yeah.
because they're just the group they're around. They could be around 5 people who are illegal.
Yeah, and I guess that's
Okay,
my point, right?
especially at a restaurant
Yeah, exactly.
of all places.
And that just, I guess that's where like my point is, right? Like you're kind of allowing like like being discriminate is going to be more and more allowed. If that's exactly what I'm trying to say is like we're going to become like a point of like what's the word? Like we're going to be it is like very racist if you really break it down, but like you're gonna be involved in groups. So then, even though I'm completely legal, I
Right.
born and raised in the United States, went to college, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like I will be singled out, and even though I have nothing to do with it, I will be detained or asked these questions or treated differently because of the skin tone and because of the like allowing people to behave this way because we need it. And I get again big picture and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but that also enables a lot of different behaviors and stuff like that outside of that I feel like again
Yeah, but those, like, we have to just say that those other behaviors are not acceptable.
no, for sure.
That's-
I just don't believe
I don't-
the majority of the United States kind of follows the way you think, if that makes sense. Because I get you, and I like
Yeah,
I
but
said,
I don't.
I've gotten to know
think,
you.
You think that they want people that are here illegal or here legally to have those problems?
What do you mean?
Being caught up in that, like I said, that like I just don't know any other way that
No,
I've been in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong group of people, man.
Yeah.
I have, like, where I didn't do shit, but I found out my friends did and pissed some people off, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of something, and I'm like, really, motherfuckers? Now I got to take care of your shit? Like, I didn't fuck with these guys, but you did, but now I got to be in here and fight your battle bullshit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been caught up in that. That's happened. That's not fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's my biggest concern. Whether it has to happen or not, like that I know, like it's gonna happen. Like, and what way it's gonna happen, that's the part that's kind of like a little like iffy.
And I think, part of the deportation thing is also Trump trying to keep his promise.
Yeah.
And I think it's not just a show.
Mhm.
I don't want it to be
No,
somebody think it's
I don't
just a
think so
show.
either.
It's not just a
No.
show, but it is a show in the sense that people who are considering still coming anyways are pausing.
Yeah.
They're pausing because they're not going to be released like they were before. It's not going to be catch and release. They're not going to, get necessarily
Privileges.
they're not going to be able to lie about amnesty and be released. That it's going to be more difficult, even if they do make it here, that stopping that is, and then we deal with the people that are here and the different groups like we've talked about, even dreamers. And what people don't realize is, there was a time Trump was willing to make a deal for the dreamers to become citizens.
Yeah.
Like give the motherfucker the rest of the money he wants to finish the fucking wall. And these whatever millions of these 2 million people or however many dreamers there are going to have this path to citizenship or whatever, that those things, because everything that we're talking about, we've said is going to come in different stages.
Yep.
But I think one of the biggest things is just to not make it look so, we made it super attractive to come here because we made it super easy to also get benefits. And look, I got to tell you, your feelings are legitimate. So are the people in Chicago, where their piece of shit mayor in Chicago doesn't want to do anything. It's a sanctuary city. And I don't understand how you get to be a city or a state and have laws that are against federal law. If we are a country about the rule of law, and Democrats think they are too, then in what world in the United States has local or state law superseded federal law? I don't think that's a thing.
I don't know if that's
Yeah, it's not a thing.
It doesn't, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound like it should be a thing.
No, like you can't create a state law that goes against federal law. And
everyone be just making a bunch of laws being like, yeah, well.
They spent $500 million, $500 million just on housing for illegal immigrants in Chicago last year. $500 million.
Yeah,
and there was a budget shortfall of $1 billion total. And so there's other things in there as well. But here are the citizens paying this money for taxes, and they're not receiving services and benefits, that they're just doing what they are supposed to do. These are just regular people with basic 9-to-5s and going to work and trying to provide,
for their families or
middle-class life for their family. And they're struggling, and they see the city not attending to their needs, but attending to the needs of people who are not American citizens. And again, it's not like these are not refugees, because we have done this. We've taken refugees from other countries where there's been civil war or something, and they take refugees and like 6 or 7 different countries, Europe, the United States, countries in Europe and also the United States, where we split them up and we bring them into this country because they were true genocide was happening.
Yeah.
True genocide was happening and we're truly taking care of other people. These are people, they're like, these people violated our laws, came here. I get that they come here for a better life. Well, of course. Where else you going to go than the United States? The United States is the best place to fucking go. It's the best place in the world. Y'all putting us down. You put down your own fucking country. This is the best place to motherfucking be.
Oh, yeah.
And there hasn't been a better time to be alive ever. than right now. I mean, we have the coolest problems right now. Uh, 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 uh,
Yeah.
Some people might think it's scary, like the problems that are popping up with, how AI is going to
AI,
be
yeah.
used and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, how it could be crazy. And I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see AI used to monitor everything I do in my car every time I walk outside.
every time you
Like,
take a
fuck
shit.
that, man. Most people are not for that. But because of the other really great things it can do, like that's why I'm saying it's a really cool problem to have.
Yeah.
These are really cool things that we have to solve that are going to just transform life. And we need to get on the same page together and figure out how this is going to work instead of being at each other's throats. And that I agree with Charles Barkley. Okay.
old
I love Charles, even though Charles and I don't agree politically in some ways. I agree with him. Both parties suck. I think Republicans suck. But I also have said that I chose the party I chose. My allegiance is not to the party. My allegiance is to the country. It's to being a conservative and trying to make the party more like that. And I'm glad that we've gotten rid of and continue to need to get rid of some of these elites in the Republican Party that were just warmongers. That was the number one thing. I'm over it.
That was something I was meaning to talk to you about because I kept seeing oligarchy come up. People,
That's so funny.
everyone keeps saying oligarchy. What, in your opinion, do you think we're close to or anywhere near an oligarchy?
What is the official definition?
The official definition is a small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution.
Okay, so we mostly would hear about the oligarchy in Russia, right?
Yes,
We hear about we hear that word used more there,
correct.
associated with them than any other country I can think of.
Correct.
Now, there may be an oligarchy in China. I don't know, but it is kind of weird a little bit if you understand capitalism
Mhm.
and you understand communism, Marxism,
Okay.
that they're not really, I mean, communists are really not supposed to have a bunch of rich people,
No,
right?
technically, it's even
Right?
yeah,
I mean, you're going to have ones that are maybe a little bit more well off that would be your political people,
yeah. The people are in
but
high
I'm
places.
talking private people.
Gotcha. No, I mean technically under communism, it's
But it is a thing.
yes, it is.
They're Russian billionaires,
Yes, there is.
right?
Yeah.
And what's even more amazing is that in China. But they are also targets of their own government sometimes as well.
Yes, they are.
So if they're targets of their government, are they really in control of the government?
No, I wouldn't. Say
I don't
so.
know.
I wouldn't say so.
And I think it's a term being changed. The definition of the term is being changed
Okay.
because it sounds bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the way they
It
put
sounds
it, yes.
bad. And I don't know if I took it as bad when it was just Russia.
Yeah,
I just took it as those are the really rich billionaires in Russia.
gotcha.
That's it.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Okay. Because how do you become that in Russia if the steel industry
hmm
is owned by the government?
Yep.
If the government owns everything, then what do these guys own that they're able to
make money off of, or
make money
or
and-
power, or whatever.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
And it's different here. Like that's a good feed that you threw to me, because it goes back to Barkley, and pull Barkley up, rich versus poor, and maybe like recent comments will pop up. It's 3 years. Yeah, there you go. Instagram. Yep. Yeah, go to the beginning and play.
And I wish people would understand that politicians do a good job of making us fight with each other, but it's really rich people against poor people. They try to make it about black, white, immigration, homosexuality, and all these different things. But what it is rich people making poor people not like each other. And until we address that, we're never going to be successful.
And this is my take. And look, I'm biased. Okay, I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
I'm biased. I think that a lot of this is rich white Democrats making people think that the other guys, rich people, don't like you.
Gotcha.
And it's bullshit. I don't. What is the answer? What is the answer to billionaires? That there shouldn't be. There are people that think there shouldn't be any billionaires. Do you know that? There are people that
I can understand the concept.
Okay, well, how do you stop that? And if you stop that, where does the innovation come from? Because
It's
Elon Musk is a once in a generation genius to me.
Yeah.
And people can disagree with that all they want. That's fine. That's your opinion. He's a once in a generation genius that to manage and try to make changes that change the course of humanity with multiple companies is unbelievable, because to do that with one company is such an incredible achievement. But to do this with multiple companies, and who gets to, I don't want there to be someone saying, that's too much. That's too much. You got too much now. Because the moment you tell me that I can't keep achieving or keep making more or creating more,
then there's no reason to do more.
There's no reason to do more. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'll go to, if there is a place that will allow me, I'll legally leave the country, pay whatever debts I owe, and take my shit with me and go do it somewhere, or just live out my life and say, well, fuck you then.
Yeah. No, I get that.
You know,
that's
like
for
I
sure.
think, like Larry Eliason has shown up now, the CEO of Oracle.
Okay.
And that guy, another genius, a guy in his, I don't know, he's in his 70s, I think. Looks absolutely phenomenal.
Larry Bird. I've been watching a lot of Larry Bird stuff recently. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't realize he was such a good shit talker.
Oh, he was huge shit talker, man. Huge.
Sorry, what was that? What was the last
Eliason.
name?
EL.
Eliason.
Yep, boom. 5th richest man in the world.
Huh.
Look at that dude.
80 years.
80? He's
wow.
80?
He does not look 80. I'll tell you
I
that.
thought he was in his 70s.
I thought he was younger.
Yeah,
than
dude,
that,
that's the real 80. What the fuck is he taking?
yeah, that ass though.
I want to know what peptides that motherfucker's on. What kind of stem cells? Because he's got the money to do any motherfucking thing he wants. Anything he wants. But the fact is, this guy isn't retired, man.
Yeah.
He's competing, to build a rocket to go to Mars and shit, right? He's in all that. He's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Just an incredible human being. I don't want this guy to stop. How many more years do we get, Larry? You see what I'm saying?
No, I get that. I
we don't get that.
totally get that.
I just don't like. So going back, I don't know if I've answered the question. So I don't know that to me, oligarchy just means rich billionaires.
Mhm.
And look, if you're going to regulate my business,
Uh-huh.
I should be allowed to be involved. Like people hate the fact that we have lobbyists.
Yeah.
People don't like lobbyists.
Yep.
Lobbyists are the bad guys, okay? But you have to understand, everybody has lobbyists, and for every side, there's a lobbyist. So if there's a lobbyist for oil, there's a lobbyist for environmental shit.
Yep.
You know, to commit that they're all there.
Yeah.
And make their case. And you can't be an expert in everything. You
Nope.
can't.
No, it's
You
impossible.
can't. And how can you make laws and rules about my business if you don't know or understand my business? And what that lobbyist's job is, okay,
Mhm.
is to help you understand that business better or more.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm not saying that there aren't negative things associated with it, and I don't know how we address those and try to.
Yeah.
But
that's just
look,
tricky.
yeah, well, and you're going to have in every form of government, you are going to have some level of corruption.
Oh yeah.
And what I think we need to do a better job at
Okay.
is going after that corruption. Okay, and let me tell you, like Obama did it, and Biden did it. Obama did it with Solarna. Okay, basically there was a company that was failing, and Obama slid them some more money, and the people that in the original investors in it got to walk away a little clean, and then the company folds up, but they got to walk clean because they gave these rich people tax money from hardworking people, and that's just wrong. Because as a rich person investing in that business, you took that risk. And if you want the gains, you got to take the losses.
Yeah.
That's no different than the bank. See, people like, you want to know where I'm at? Let me go back a little ways. The bank bailouts were fucking bullshit, dude. The auto bailouts were also bullshit. And I don't give a fuck if you work for, if you're an auto union worker or whatever. That was bullshit, man. Okay? It would have been figured out. It would have been figured out. Okay? And just because it worked one time it worked. Where we bailed out Chrysler and, you know, they came and we were made whole and, you know, one time. Every other time it's worked, it's been shit. It's been shit, you know. It works for a minute and then it crashes again because you're not getting rid of the people who made the bad decisions. They get to keep doing this shit again because they got bailed out. They didn't get penalized for making a bad decision.
So if I didn't get in trouble once, who's gonna say I didn't get in trouble again?
Right. Well, now I got my money back from, you know, this solar company.
Yeah.
And now I get to make another bad decision with the money because I got bailed out. You know, if I took a hit, I might think twice like, yeah, maybe that's not such a good idea. Maybe we're not ready for that. Maybe that technology is not ready yet, kind of a thing.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay. So Obama did that. And that's what I call crony capitalism. And crony capitalism is wrong. It's corruption, and we should all be against it. Corruption happens in communist governments, obviously, but I think it's even to a higher level. But, you know, it happens with our politicians as well. And, you know, how do we combat it? Well, we combat it by changing the laws and not allowing these motherfuckers to use inside information on committees that they sit on that are going to affect certain drug companies, and then they buy the stock or their spouse buys the stock of that drug company. Well, fuck you, okay? See, that's the kind of stuff where that's where we have to find the common ground again between regular Democrats and regular Republicans, like, we got to agree, we got to come together on this and be against this because both parties are doing it. And that's the rich people that are fucking you are those people. Okay. Those are the ones that are fucking you. Okay. This just general hate for billionaires is just stupid. It's out of control and it's dumb. Okay. Because you have to take responsibility for your own motherfucking life. And we're not all going to be billionaires, but y'all can be pretty well off if you want to be. You can do pretty good. Okay. I've taken a lot of hits over 56 years. No college education. Somehow I've been able to build a couple $1 million businesses in that whole process. Not rich, but, you know,
Rich
not,
enough, but rich enough.
affluent enough, affluent enough that I'm having so much fun that I want a fun break or a break from fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be on my goal list.
That's a good goal.
To reach a fun break.
It'll
Get
be
to
like,
the point
"Oh,
where
man,
I need a fun break.
I need a break from all this fun." So, like the oligarchy, I just think it's labeling something now and trying to make it sound bad.
No, I get that.
And I don't know that it's bad per se. Like, is it?
I mean, because
Who
that's the way I was looking at it yesterday. Was like realistically, you need the billionaires.
you do?
So-
Well, here let me ask you,
So they're gonna have some sort of power in one way or another.
dude. Who the fuck do you want making the decisions? Take a walk. Go to a concert. Go to a game. Take a look at the people fucking around you. Do you think anybody is just capable of making decisions?
No,
Bro, half of these motherfuckers can't dress themselves.
You're not even wrong though. Yeah.
So there are these ladies in front of us. I have no idea what was going on. Okay. They had to be in their 50s.
Okay.
And they're all wearing this white and red shirt. Like it's alternating white and red stripes going across, very thin stripes, and these very short bobs. And I don't know if they were wigs, but they had to be wigs, very good wigs. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because they all look the same, but the hair actually looked kind of real. So like they were really good wigs or whatever. But there were like 5 or 6 of them together wearing all the same shirt, identical shirt. They had to shop at Target.
I see it.
okay?
I see it in my head.
And I don't understand what the significance of that was with
Like
the
Timberlake.
concert,
Yeah.
the Timberlake concert. It was JT. And then there was one redheaded girl who had to be a daughter of one of them.
Okay.
She didn't have that shit going on.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to go down and like be funny and like ask him, hey, I'm like, that's so cute. You guys are doing that and get a video or like, but honestly, I'm like, what the fuck is that about? But you know what it reminded me of?
What's up?
Where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? In the crowd of people,
They
just,
reminded
just
me
standing
of
out.
like have you ever done like a Where's Waldo party or like
it's
dressed
a
up,
lot
you
of,
know,
like
like
crazy stuff like
yeah,
happening and stuff
yeah,
like
but
that.
that like it almost seemed like they're doing a Where's Waldo type thing and like
gotta find them in a book somewhere.
I don't know. It was just weird. And then there was a bigger person,
Okay.
bigger woman.
Okay,
We'll say,
okay.
but not person. We won't go with person. We'll go with bigger woman. Dude, when I'm talking like legs must like thighs like this,
Gotcha.
like they were big,
Yeah.
and that skirt was here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people wore some outfits last night,
Yeah.
and some of them thought it was the shit,
Yeah.
and it was like,
They left the house thinking they were walking out.
I don't know. Did you
Killing-
see Jeff Bezos' wife taking shit?
What?
Jeff Bezos, not his wife, his fiance,
Uh,
taking shit because she's kind of hot. Lauren Sanchez, yeah. So
ooh,
yeah. So Like she just took shit. Like there you go, right in the middle. You just had the picture. That she wore that with the white thing there. She wore that to the inauguration, and it basically looks like lingerie, and people are flipping the motherfuck out over that. I don't know. Look, dude.
I don't know if I can.
At least she has the body and the fake boobs and the big lips. She can pull it off.
Yes.
And he's got no shit. And you saw the whole thing about Mark Zuckerberg next to him looking at her tits. Did you see that?
Is there a picture of it?
Fuck yeah, there's pictures of it everywhere. And the one thing that, like, Bezos can't be mad. Because how can you be mad? Because you're okay with your girl dressing like that. So you ain't mad people are looking. You don't dress like that if you don't want people to look, right?
Yeah. No,
and then
yeah,
you have other people around. I think RFK Jr., like she's talking to him, and he's trying not to look. Have you ever tried to not look at a chick's tits?
Yes, it's one.
You know what I
most,
mean?
Yeah, no, I
like
get you.
I really don't. Yes, yeah, I hear exactly what you say.
Up in the ceiling.
Like you look even weirder.
Yes, yes,
because you're trying not to look than you would
effort,
look if you actually just say nice tits, man. You know what? And let it go. See, there you go. There's the picture. Get rid of that thing. Oh my God! Like, what the fuck with these ads,
bro? I do not know. There
it is. And he has to see Zuck looking at.
Yeah,
it.
like
you
that.
can't
He's
not,
right
but
there. He's right.
But
there.
the one thing everybody's saying about it in a good way.
What's up?
The most human thing they've ever seen Zuckerberg do.
Yeah, that's
the most testosterone, masculine, male thing in the world.
I mean,
and that's just being a dude. And see, we're not allowed to be. Now we're allowed to be dudes again. We're allowed to be men. Men do that shit. We look. You can't help. Like, stop making us like try to not look. Try not to do.
We're not doing any harm in any way, shape, or form. Like, come on.
Right.
Like you like the attention.
Look, if you didn't, y'all wouldn't be wearing the shit that you're wearing. Now, look, as I've said, that gives nobody the ability to cross any lines because of what somebody's wearing. Absolutely not. But you do want us to look.
That's the whole point of clothing and stuff like that. That's the whole point.
Dude, I want people to look. Like, I want to be, and people have noticed, Dawn and I, when we've been out, when we were in Atlanta, several people we encountered, the driver at the Waldorf, like, wow, you guys kind of put together, even casually were put together, and have a combination. It looks nice, looks good, carry, I want to carry myself a certain way. I do everything with a purpose. And sometimes that purpose just may be to be comfortable. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
But even then, there's a certain blend of what I put things with, and hats I wear, and shoes, and watch I made.
I get that. There's
if I didn't care, I would have taken one watch, and I could have gotten by with one watch. Instead, I wore a Rolex and took 3 others.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because I motherfucking could.
Nice and simple. Simple.
It's nice and simple because I fucking could.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I want to have a certain, appearance or like
100%.
Way you walk. All of that stuff is important in how you carry yourself.
I agree.
But that's
kind of funny.
Funny shit,
no, that's
man.
funny because over the years, people have said nothing but lizard man. So that's I didn't even think about that, but that's hilarious that you brought that up. The fact that that's the most human thing,
in the
we've
world,
seen him
man.
do.
And I think that's great. And I've needed second chances, but I don't expect it. Okay, here's the thing, and this is what I've learned from addiction. That I can ask for forgiveness. I can, show remorse for things I've done in my past. kind of like the Pete Hegseth shit, you know? But somebody doesn't have to give it to me.
Yeah.
All I can do is what I can do on my side of the street. How somebody reacts to that's on them. And some people will, some people won't. And when you're an addict, there are some people in your family that after 2 weeks of being sober, they're going to be totally cool with you. And there are some people, it's going to be 6 months to a year. There are going to be some people, it's going to be a couple years you got to show them.
Yeah.
Because they've seen you fall off far too many times that they don't believe this is them, and they don't have any reason to believe because you've not given them any evidence of that.
Yeah.
And there are some people that just never will at all. They'll never. That's their choice, and that's on them, and that's totally fine. I don't need that for me to go forward. I can go forward anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I can make amends and offer amends. Somebody doesn't have to accept it. And so that's kind of how I feel about Zuckerberg and people. I don't think everything is phony or fake or that they're just doing it just because Trump is president. I think he's been going through a life change for a while now.
Zuckerberg? Oh, yeah.
For maybe 5-10 years.
No,
you know what I mean? He's been
agree.
going through a change.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of that is a masculine thing that with the jujitsu and things that he does now. Yep. I mean, I think that all has played a role in it. And, you know, what would you do for your company when you're responsible for thousands and thousands of employees and the government is putting pressure on you to do something, and that if you don't do it, they're going to make your life a living hell and sue you for other things just to make your life miserable or allow other countries to do it. 72,000.
Yeah, that's a good number.
It's a big number,
that's
man.
A good number.
So, and now he has the ability to say, you know, that it's not likely they're coming after me now, or this administration's not coming after me. I can make the changes. I can be honest about what they said to me and what they did. And even, you know, I think he's been honest about his mistakes in running the company or things that again, this happens to all of us where we do things with good intentions, but it's a bad outcome.
Yeah.
And see, Democrats, they like to be stroked for their good intentions. But when they don't want to change after those intentions are
brought up,
are not getting you the result that you want.
Yeah.
And that time is just past. But I want to give, I don't want to, and some people have done this on my side, on the more conservative side. I seen Zuckerberg said this on Joe Rogan. I still think he's a piece of shit. Okay. That's your opinion. That's it. I think it's stupid. I'm going to give the dude a chance.
Yeah.
You know, I think I mentioned Fetterman, Senator Fetterman, that he just had a vote on something related to abortion that was ridiculous. Okay. But I know that he is supporting some of the nominees that most Democrats are not going to support, where we're going to be lucky if we get just a few of the Democratic senators to support the nominees.
Gotcha.
And that he's supporting them. Okay. You're not going to get everything from everyone. You're just not going to get that.
No.
But I'll take that from him, even though I think it's shitty, his vote on this other thing. And I think he's better than that. Maybe not, but it is what it is. But I'm saying before, we need to work with each other.
Yeah.
We need to work with each other somehow. And I think that's going back to even Charles Barkley. That's we got to figure out this place amongst ourselves of what we're going to allow and what's going to be acceptable or not, because it's just, there's so much right now. There's so much yelling on both sides, but really the one side, and it's like, you know what? like I even said, let me bring up somebody else. Chris Cuomo. So Chris Cuomo totally gets and understands why people like me, on my side, support the pardons of the people who were involved in January 6th.
Yeah.
Because he even brings it up where, we endured months of riots. People were actually killed in those riots. Legit killed. Okay. And they still keep lying about January 6th. They keep lying about this officer who died on January 7th and saying that he died because he was beat up on January 6th. And that's not what happened. This guy had like blood clots or something. It was like once the autopsy was done, it was natural causes. Gotcha. Okay. And any kind of stress like could have caused this.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like, but it's because of January 6th. And no, man. No. So no officer.
It could be right.
But anything stressful. His wife, his kids, anything. His job was stressful.
Exactly.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
That's what he did for that contributed. But there wasn't like
that was
there was no murder. There's nobody that killed him.
Yes.
All right. It didn't happen. He did die. He didn't die on January 6th, like people say. It was the next day, and it wasn't the result of because of something a protester did to it. That's just not a thing. And because we've seen this, he thinks that what happened on January 6th was so much worse than all the other riots. I don't know how that's possible. Okay, I just don't.
That's a stretch.
But that's the people who think about this threat to democracy.
Did Cuomo said that?
Chris
Cuomo?
Yeah.
Huh.
But at least he's understanding a little bit of like he's at least telling the Democrats, like, I get it. I maybe don't agree, but I get why Troy feels that way.
Gotcha.
And why he doesn't care what you say about January 6th because of all the other shit that was done that you guys just thought was okay and passed and nobody was convicted of, nobody was charged. It is not okay that billions of dollars of property were lost and small businesses and people lost businesses and their homes and their lives were interrupted. And you had these fucking maniacs take over sections of the city and say it wasn't America anymore. That's a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
You took over a motherfucking police station. And some people went into the Capitol building and broke some shit. You had a handful of people who were more violent.
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't 1,500. 1,500 did not commit violence.
And I mean, from the videos,
some just walked in.
Yeah, I mean, from the
and
videos
walked
we've been
out.
Watching recently, like, and even those people that were like destroying stuff,
they had to hire attorneys. They lost money. They lost jobs, and we're supposed to feel bad. The Trump pardon and Trump or Biden just pardoned people who haven't been charged with anything. Nothing. You're not charged with anything, but you get a pardon.
That was one thing that I did see.
Because if you find out later that they did do something, it's okay. They've already been pardoned for it. That's fucking bullshit. And that's where we're at with this.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna. You can keep repeating that. It's not gonna change a motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
That's what Chris said, and I agree with him on that. Even though we disagree on the severity of each, that I don't think that what happened on January 6th was so much worse than all of those months we allowed lawlessness. And now to tell us we don't support the police because of these people that were pardoned, fuck you. You were the party of defund the police. You were the party of it. You're the party that said we should send social workers to houses where there's reports of domestic violence. Yeah, that's what we should do instead. Send social workers into that.
'Cause they're
Get
gonna
the
help the
fuck outta
situation
here,
so
dude.
much. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, but Trump, when he was bringing up the idea that Biden was pardoning a bunch of like all these people and all these family members, but he forgot to pardon himself. I thought that was pretty funny. I saw that yesterday.
And look, I really don't think he's going to go after Biden.
That man,
But
has
that
no
doesn't
idea what
mean
he's
he
doing.
won't troll that motherfucker
Yeah,
or troll other
exactly,
Democrats
exactly.
and put it out there so they think he will.
Yeah, scare him out.
That
a
he'll
little
do.
bit. Yeah,
Because Trump will fuck with you like that. Now, if you don't know that, then that's on you. They're just
you should know the kind of person he is. Yeah, no,
he does
that's-
shit like that
yes,
for
he
a
does.
reason. Everything he does for a reason. Like everybody should be applauding that he called out banks yesterday.
That was and Bank. He said Bank of America. He did not hold back.
Yeah, well, he should have named
A few more
He
banks.
should have named Chase too. Those motherfuckers. No, but like, and he said, I don't think I was debanked for political reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't know why I was, and that should not be a thing. Okay, because if the bank people think they're protecting the bank because of the laws related to fraud, okay, have that conversation with me. What fraud? Was there a complaint? Did somebody say I did something and I didn't meet my obligation to that person, or what? Like, none of that happened. None of that. So there has to be. You should have to tell me why. There should have to be disclosure. And the reason they don't want there to be disclosure is because if there is disclosure, then I can have something, then I know what it is that I can fight against.
Yep.
And you just don't want that fight. So I'm not given anything to be able to fight against. That should just not be a thing. That should not be a thing. But banks should just not be able, because, and this has happened, for the banks to say that, this didn't happen, that's bullshit. Okay. You could maybe be a person who has a firearms license and sell weapons out of your home, basically. You know what I mean? You can legally do that. And you have to abide by all the laws and rules, and you have to do the background checks. I mean, one of the guns that I bought here in Arizona, I went and picked up at the person's house. Now, I was at a gun show.
Yeah.
Okay. And to think that, like, you can, like, at gun shows, there's just, like, no rules. That's not the case. If it's an individual, if it's you and you just have two guns you're getting rid of, totally different. Okay. You should be able to sell, as you're my friend, and you just bought a new shotgun, and the shotgun you have, you'd like to get rid of, you should be able to sell that to me, and you shouldn't have to go through and, like, make sure I have a background check. Like, that's just bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
That just is. But at a gun show, ones that are dealers there have to follow all of the rules, and I had to fill out the shit.
The paperwork and all that
and
fun
my
stuff.
shit didn't come back instantly. It took 7 days. I am an outlaw.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It does make sense.
You know, for a second I was like 7 days, but then
7 days.
then I thought about
But
it.
it got approved.
Yeah.
And I was able to go pick it up and,
Yeah.
and pay for it and whatever, do that kind of thing. That's just how it is, that should be, it should be that way,
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? What were we talking about before that?
Chris Como, we were talking about.
I wanted to tie that in with something, but I don't know.
The Charles Barkley.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oligarchy.
We've just been like gone off. This is not. I had stuff written down to like be more focused. Well, I will say this. I hope that one of the things that Trump does, and I've heard talk of this, is that there's something similar to the Twitter files. that where there's like access is given to the emails, the correspondence, and the things, back related to COVID and what was done with, like they should be like the COVID files. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha. Okay.
so that the truth comes out
Yeah.
about Fauci and about the fact that didn't come from fucking monkeys, okay, or jumping from at that stupid wet market
Yeah.
bullshit y'all made up.
Yeah,
That's not the most likely scenario, even though they acknowledge the other thing now. Well, there was a lab that did, crazy shit, and experimented. Yeah. That one. Okay. Now that you just acknowledge it and like there's a 50-50 chance of either one, bullshit. Not a thing. Okay. There's one that's more probable or likely,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
need to know that. So I hope he does that. And then that goes with just announced, and I'm glad he's doing this because I expected this in the first administration. And he had talked about it, and then he decided against it. He was talked out of it. He was talked out of releasing the Kennedy files, the files related to RFK as well, Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Okay. Let me say this about Martin Luther King and JFK. These guys are just, they're humans. They're men. They did some really great things. All men have character defects. They just do. And any character defects of those men, to me, does not lessen in any way the great things that they stood for or their leadership and tried to get us to focus on and be better as human beings. Yeah. We know that JFK was kind of a womanizer. I've been called that. Like, it's the thing, you know what I mean? I've liked women. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I totally get it. Martin Luther King, he liked women too. A good looking brother. He's got, speaks
very well.
Speaks very, very well.
Yep.
It's got some power. A woman sees a dude with that other men follow. That's attractive. Oh, other men think a lot of that guy. That's an attractive feature. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I get that.
Okay. Like it is what it is. Like it's not my business what his wife was willing or not willing to accept in whatever their relationship was or how it was or, what my belief is and, how he loved his wife or whatever. That's not my business. I can look at the other great things that he represented, and there's nothing that can come out in those files that to me will diminish him in any way.
Yeah. And
at least that's for me.
That he brought onto the people. Yeah.
Sure.
No, I get that.
And my feelings for JFK have changed as I've grown older.
Okay.
Because, when I was younger, I was a conservative from the time basically I was in junior high.
Yeah.
Right. And I loved Nixon, for God's sake. I studied him, read. I loved Nixon. One of my favorite presidents, and of course, my favorite of all time is Reagan. But my favorite, big. I really did like Nixon. But with these guys, they're still men, and that's why I can look at it now and I can see, because JFK really was loved by a majority of the people. Like, you know, like people cried, like seriously
Yeah.
cried. Like that wouldn't happen today. Not on
Not to
that
the extent,
scale.
yeah.
Not if it was Biden, not if it was Obama, none of them, not Trump, none of them would have the emotion where where over half
Yeah.
of the people would be that emotionally affected.
Yeah.
But now, you know, as things have played out and the things that, you know, he represented and as you learn more, especially when you didn't grow up in that time
Uh-huh.
and you learn about that history and the opposition he faced and the deep state that he faced that was fighting against him, gives you a different perspective, and at least it did me. And so I've grown to my
Your opinion.
my
of him, man.
opinion of him has matured.
Yeah.
You know, because I got more information.
And we're
I've
about
grown
to
to
get
th-
even more information.
more
too,
information.
is the best part.
And that's what we need, you know, and that's why I was like, we were all mad. If Hillary did this shit, and we know she did it, and there's evidence of it, release that motherfucking shit. I'm okay with her not going to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not. I'm totally okay with it. But I want to know.
Having the people know.
I want to know
Yeah.
the actual truth.
Yep.
Spit it out, uncensored, no blocking shit. Put it out there.
Yep.
That's-
I'm excited for those files. I really am.
And even on his own, release the shit that we know what they did. Some stuff has been released. We do have emails and text messages between FBI agents and things that they said and did and going after Trump, but it all needs to come out. It all needs to come out, and the corruption needs to be exposed, and those people that participated just need to not be, again, I'm not advocating we go after these people and put them in jail at this point. What I am advocating is that they are not continuing to be in positions of any
power.
type of
Yeah.
power or authority to do anything. Fuck that.
Yep.
And that's why I was really happy with what he did with those national security advisors, that he revoked,
Yeah.
you know, their ability to still
work from
get,
home and
yeah,
all that.
to still be able to have access to,
Gotcha.
you know, security shit. Yeah, fuck you. You fucked that up, and that's on you. And you can whine about it all you want. Trump has the right to do that, and it's good that he did that and said fuck you. You know, you don't get that access anymore. And yeah, your 2 cents that may have been needed in the future is not needed. We don't care.
You keep your sense with you.
Yeah. I just want it all out there. So I want, you know, some things that Trump, that was some of the things that Trump said he was going to do in his first term that he didn't do, that I was disappointed that he didn't do. So the fact that he's doing it now and is now signed that executive order that we're going to get that information, I hope it's done.
Yeah.
And I'll believe it when I see it. I believe that I did watch him sign the executive order, but I want to actually,
see the
I want to be
files.
able to see
Oh,
the
yeah.
file. I
Oh,
want to be
yeah.
able to log online and read it.
Hell yeah. No, I get
Because
you.
I'm one of the motherfuckers that'll actually read it. Because that kind of stuff interests me. So I would definitely do that.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be some new documentaries coming out pretty soon after these files.
Well, won't it be interesting to see the things that have been the
Told
documentaries that have already been done,
Yes.
and which conspiracy theories
Yes.
really aren't
Yep,
conspiracy
yep.
theories, are really motherfucking true.
That's my favorite part of all this, is the fact that, because you know there's been so much, like you said, these theories about this and this and that, and now we get to find out who was right.
Let's see.
Hell
Let it
yeah.
all play out,
Hell yeah.
man. So I didn't intend this to go this way. I even intended to, you know, and I'm going to do that the next episode, that it was something that recently came up that I'm starting to see. This is so funny. So in relationship to like semaglutide and the GLP-1s and terzepatide and all these things, it's so funny, man. So more information is coming out, like I've talked about before, about the benefits of it.
Okay.
The positive things, but yet, so more positive news and benefits of semaglutide and Ozempic, but is it worth the risk? They still got to tie that to it, dude. Nothing is zero risk. Everything, like,
gotta make it sound a little eerie, you know?
oh my God, still. So even as people are giving more and better information about it, you know, they still gotta
give you the warning label. The warning label has to be on there.
That's so stupid. And get into more of those kind of things, but somehow I got wrapped up in this today.
I mean, there's a lot.
Well, there's just so
There's
much.
so much. Even yesterday's episode, like we went for 2 hours, and I feel like we still didn't cover like so much more that we could have.
Well, here's the thing: what people are actually getting to see, because of the way I do things, is you're getting to see in real time me sort this shit out in my head.
Exactly, yeah.
And how I think and how I come to conclusions and what information I've taken in to come up with those conclusions or what I'm thinking at the time. This is like at real in time thing. It's not like I figured it all out and then I share it with you. Like I'm actually, because things are happening so fast, I'm trying to figure out what I think about it, how I feel about it, what the issue is right at that moment. And you helped participate in that, which I really, really appreciate, because I think we give a real, true perspective on that, because I don't always mean for mine to come across, and I know it does, is, you know, like this.
Yeah.
It's
just who you are.
It's not.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's the way you speak and stuff like that, so it comes off. But I was having that thought yesterday too, where like, even though like we're, or at least especially for me, right? Like I'm learning a lot of different things, like especially like through you and stuff like that. So I may say something or I may agree with something like right then and there, but when I go home and I get to actually process it and stuff like that, like it might have like a slightly different opinion or like a. And then it helps me kind of like process.
But it also helps you pursue and go after additional information.
Exactly.
You know?
Like I find myself like going on Google a lot and kind of like.
Okay, what do I really think of this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do I really think?
Yeah. So.
What else? Yeah, that's good stuff.
I love that.
All right. How long do we?
Only 1:45.
Only? That's plenty. Holy fucking shit. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
This show is just going to be what it is in each episode, and it's not going to always be for everybody, but it'll be whatever you want to take from it. Take from it what you can. Enjoy that. Share it with someone else. You know, it brings up, I hope it generates more discussion for people too.
That was my whole point of me going on that rant. Yeah.
I hope that, like, yeah, I'm doing this, and talk to your friends about it, because we do need to be able to talk about it away from social media. And I'm never going to be someone who's anti-social media like some people are, but we need to talk about it away from it, where there's not the yelling. Because look, I'm part of that too. Like, especially on X now, man. I'm a madman on X. Like, because it helps me release.
Like decompress, yeah, 100%.
From like these
bullshit,
idiots.
yeah.
These idiots,
yeah,
like
100%.
Are you really that stupid? Yes.
I feel
yes,
you,
they
man.
are.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. And we'll be back at it again next week. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life.